Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all got your coffee and ready for this shenanigan? I myself am still trying to wake up. Good morning, one and only.
Hello.
Good morning.
Are you okay?
Yeah, why? I didn't see you last night.
Yeah, I was on. Well, I woke up and then I went on in the comments and then I came back off again. But I wasn't. You were trying to sort your computer thing out, weren't you?
Oh yeah, we did.
Something.
We finally got it all set up.
Yeah. Because I came on and it was like, right, can you hear me? And it was all like, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I just said hello and then went back out.
Yeah, we got it finally all set up, but I'm gonna have to go get some earbuds or well, what do you call them? Earbuds and a
Headphones.
microphone.
The ones that, oh, microphone, yeah.
Yeah, we did
Hi,
settle that
Lisa.
in the end.
So what do we think is going to happen today?
I think today's gonna be the last of it,
Yeah.
um, and then I think they'll pick the jurors. And then I feel like we'll have an answer by Friday because I don't think the judge is going to want it to go through all weekend.
No. It's a lot though, isn't it, for him? But
It
it
is.
depends.
It is for sure. Good
Will they
morning,
be
Katie.
will they be sequestered while they're doing the verdict? No. Same as going home every day if it takes them a few days. I wondered that.
Ask that again.
So, like they've been not sequestered while they've been doing it. So when they're doing the deliberations or whatever it's called, will they still be going home at night till they
No.
get the, or are they stuck while until they make a decision?
Yeah, they have to stay until they make a
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah, I just wondered it because obviously that's one of the things that I'm surprised about with this trial is not having him, having him go home every day.
Right. I think we have one more rebuttal witness today,
Yeah, we do,
and I think
and
that's it.
then we have the closing argument thing, don't we?
Yeah. Who's Keisha? Oh, it was Keisha the one with the baby? Lisa?
Keisha, I don't know.
Thank you all for the heart knees. If you guys will share the live out, I need to kind of pull it up. I'll tell you what. Let me grab my other glasses. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hi everyone. Send your heart me's in, please. I don't know why I sang that.
Okay, my eyes are so dry this morning.
It's probably through looking at your screen and stuff.
Uh,
We share the live out as well, guys, please, if you come in. Thank you.
answer this client. My phone's already blowing up. What time can I get a haircut? I'm going to tell.
I think Ivy will come on once it's actually started. I think Amber, she'll go on YouTube once she either comes in here when Stacey has to go off for work, or she'll just put a notice out that she's on YT. It's usually about 10 o'clock, or whenever they actually start. So she'll be on later. No problem.
Okay, I'm back. I've got like 15, 20 clients that need to make appointments, and I didn't answer any of them yesterday. So now they're going to start first thing this morning.
Oh, God. My mum was a hairdresser. They
So
had a hairdresser's shop.
Ivory will be here. If she doesn't come here, she'll be setting up YT to take over when I end.
Yeah, I said she either comes in here, doesn't she, near the end, and everyone goes over, or she'll post that she's on YT.
Oh, it's too early. I was scrolling and scrolled into Keisha's live, and she was playing those phone calls from the prison.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know there was some bad ones on last night as well. Well, last night for me, when
I
you
was
came off
looking
like
at
tea
that.
time. And there were some mad ones that were on after court finished yesterday.
Right.
I'm just wondering where all these people will go when it's finished. Half of them will probably never do tutor time again.
Right. Good morning, Miss Sam. Sam throws me off with her new little emblem.
Oh yeah, she's very professional. I love it. Oh, Lisa,
Trying to connect her. She's just spinning.
there she is.
Hey.
Hello.
Lisa, were you up in the box? Huh.
Oh,
Good morning.
good morning. No court yet.
No, not yet. I did turn on when I first got into YT. I was watching. I don't remember who it was that popped up. It was called live coverage they do. But anyway, whenever I stop at a seat and fetch after shopping, I am rewarded. And you could see everybody going into the courthouse. There was just lines.
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of the public is trying to get in
Right.
to there, so I don't understand. Like,
Good morning, Meg.
hmm?
Good morning, Meg.
I don't. Do you know you're up here?
Nope,
Probably not.
he didn't.
Um, if everybody can tap and send your daily heart me if you have not,
I'm beginning
and
to think
share
I
it
might
out.
be shadow banned.
Hey, Melissa.
Did everybody see the video that I posted for y'all?
No.
You gotta go look at it.
Okay.
Before I went to bed, I posted a little video for you.
Oh gosh. Um. So I posted that Patrick's attorneys made a statement, and CNN posted the statement about the defamation. And at the end of it, it's basically a warning. Like, you're basically getting sued, is how I read it. Like, we're not
Well, I
warning you,
commented
we're
on
going to sue you. Huh?
everybody needs to go share that out and
And
send.
this one lady commented, and she goes, well, then he'd just have to prove that everybody that this was false information. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Like, are you like, these people vote and drive.
I know, right?
Come on, use some common sense.
Exactly. That's funny. Yeah, I seen it and I commented on it, shared it. Oh, thank you, Lisa.
PC is so pretty. Oh yeah, it is pretty. I thought you were saying Patrick Clancy for PC. That's how, like.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, why is he pretty?
I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna take the monitor back
Yeah.
because I don't feel like the speakers are loud enough on it.
Is that where the speakers are? Or is in the monitor?
Uh, well, for me to hear, and it might just be me, but yesterday when I had it turned up on 100, I was still kind of having a hard time hearing when everybody was talking. So, yeah, and they have, like the Geek Squad there. Of course, I could just talk to my grandson and go, hey, come look at this and tell me exactly what I need. Because he games a lot. And that particular computer, I didn't know till yesterday. And I'm like, if I'd have known, I'd have bought it from him. I said, hey, he came over to make sure I had everything hooked up, so I was scared to turn it on, and he's like, this is the exact one that I bought. It was my first gaming system. He said it's in my closet after we rebuilt my new one, and I'm thinking, well, if I'd have known that, I'd have bought it. Good morning, Called.
Good morning, everybody. How are y'all?
See, Called changed her picture too. Y'all throwing me off. I haven't seen you yesterday, I don't think.
I was around. Y'all were on YouTube, and I was too, but I was on Court TV mostly.
You're still sick, huh?
Yeah, just stuffy. I have seasonal allergies. It's no big deal.
Hey, call.
How are you?
Fine.
I was changing my profile picture anyway after Samantha made that memorial post, but then and it's funny because as I was changing it, I was getting called out by somebody on her post that I'm not a real person. I'm a troll account because I don't have a profile picture. Because one of the very first comments on Sam's very beautiful post for the kids was some BS that Patrick did it.
It didn't even make sense.
No, it didn't. She couldn't. I mean, misspelling, incomplete sentences. She was just an idiot. But
there's your sign.
right, I called her out on it. Said, "Hey, man, don't be bringing that trash here. Can you see? This is a memorial post for innocent children, and you want to throw that BS in there." And so she started a back and forth with me, and I just stopped. I quit responding to her because not going to disrespect the post, and it wasn't worth it. After
people,
she do what?
These people are stupid. I'm telling you, like,
They are, and the thing about it is, there's so much venom and hate, and it all goes back in nearly every instance to a personal experience, not with Patrick, but in their own life. Because I had a narcissistic spouse or boyfriend or whatever, then Patrick must be a narcissist. Because I had postpartum depression and didn't do anything to my children, then, it's not postpartum. It's wild.
Wouldn't that be something if everybody in the world was the same?
I find it really disturbing, the inappropriate, sorry, I'm rinsing my cup out. The inappropriate Cora and him thing.
Yeah.
And one lady goes, he took her out overnight. I had Chris listen to it and he was like, what? And I'm like, if you're worried that if you don't trust your spouse, the father of your child, to take your child overnight because she's a girl, there's something wrong then with the entire situation.
Exactly, and I feel like that's something that would have given off red flags or vibes or whatever y'all want to call it before you got to the point of marriage. Like, let's be real. We just heard the phone call. Some people don't be hiding that shit at all.
My husband was chaperone. We were both chaperones in, different work schedules. I have a boy and a girl. Depended on who was chaperoning which child. And there were overnight trips. Girl Scout trips, Boy Scout trips. There was a trip to New York. We live in Texas. There was a trip to New York in junior high. It was her freshman year of high school. There was a trip to New York that was a 5-day trip. I didn't go. My husband did. He was the only male chaperone with freaking like 75 kids.
Yeah, like it. I don't know. I do your child. Do you not go somewhere and your child is watched by your husband? Like, to have that your first thought is disturbing. I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude if something's happened to them prior and they've had, but that's not a normal. That's not normal.
Morning, Susan. It's not
Hey,
normal.
Susan, I haven't seen her in a couple days. Well, I seen her in YT.
And we see so much child SA and so much evil in the world today, and it's being exposed. Parents should be cautious, but being cautious and flat out accusing somebody of something with absolutely no basis in fact is bullshit.
I agree to that. I feel like there's a lot of people today that, are really quick to compare and criticize, which I've done. I'm not even going to act like I haven't, because I have. It's relation to situations, and that's how people can spot signs of whatever patterns be patterning. I get it. It makes sense. But that's I don't even know how to explain it. Like, that's like coming in at halftime and expecting to play. And by that, I mean, it's like, that's like, how do I, like 8-10 years ago or whatever it was, I dated a douche, and he was similar to Patrick, not quite the extent, but, doing his own thing. But that's like me going back and this doesn't even sound right comparing it, but being like, he reminds me of my shitbag ex, so I know it's coming. Like, that does not even sound right to me. Like, what? You don't know that guy personally. You know him based off of a shallow 1 minute fucking testimony. Like, the fuck? Sorry, I got a mouth on me, y'all.
But you're right, Hank. I don't get it. And the women that have been cheated on, automatically he's a cheater. Every man's a cheater.
I get it. No, I'm in the same boat. It doesn't make sense. And the only reason I say that is because I'm going to use myself as an example, because I did that dumbassly during the Elizabeth thing. when she was looking back when she had been arrested on her intake. And so to me, I'll use myself as an example because I've done that. But to say it is for schmurder as an end all say all, fucking nuts. Like, there's no way that you could bring your own personal life into your own personal situation into this because A, 3 people lost their lives, and B, you didn't have to testify or appear in court and uphold evidentiary proof to say, yeah, this happened. And whereas we're going to go back now, it sucks, but let's be real, folks. I know it's not y'all, but the dinglings, like, you really don't think in your brain that when they subpoenaed every fucking digital item that he could pass anything through, you really don't think that they fucking found it? Like, give me
I
a break.
have the investigation report, and they state it. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they would have found it. Like, prime example, Idaho 4. They stripped the shit out of their devices. Just things like that. Like, they would have found it. And it really bothers me that people are so quick to take a personal instance and wrap it into this he done it situation just because of personal matter. And I get it. It's hard because, personal matter is usually the only implication that people can use to understand and see through a situation or spot bullshit, red flags, whatever you want to call it. I understand that. I see it. Without the gift of discernment, you wouldn't be able to do so. But you need to be able to separate the gift of discernment from your personal life. And that is a very tricky thing to do. I find myself doing it all the time. That's why a lot of the times, if it's more or less happening, it's always at work. And I sit back and I let somebody else handle it. And I get in with questions where I can to make sure that I understand it rather than going in with a solid fact and making myself look like a dumbass. Because we all know I've done that on this app too. We all
have.
Yeah, and so I find it odd that people are coming in here so fucking hard with these swinging arms, and they're like, this is who did it, this is how it happened. Number one, the layout is different from your home to their home. B, you're missing a whole fucking floor. And 3, you don't know the timeline or play-by-play of what this scenario happened right there, let alone how the person would handle it. Because I guarantee that anyone in a situation like that does not understand freeze, fight, or flight. That is the 3 most indefinite situations that individuals find themselves in an emergency situation. And I'm only going to use this as an example. The car fire. When I ran and saw that car of the person flipped over and in the grass, my bitch ass ran to them. Most people that also stopped, they stopped at the freeway because they didn't want to take that risk. I'm not saying it's a grandiose thing to do, but there really is that moment where people do not understand that adrenaline takes over and you will or will not do something. Like, you may be trained to do something, but you ain't gonna fucking do it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say the same thing. Chris, when he was 17, somebody hit a tree and the car was on fire, and he ran to get the guy out, and his arm fell off.
Yeah, dude. Like, and that's the thing that I don't talk about. And another prime example is a lot of these individuals, like, CPR is one of the most minuscule things that you can learn. And a lot of people, like coworkers that I've sat with, because we work with very vulnerable individuals, there are people that know CPR front and back. They've been trained by monthly for years, and they go in and something happens and they fucking swipe the slate. Like, they can't do anything, and that is unfortunate.
And he was a volunteer firefighter.
Dude,
when that happened. He wasn't, and they got, they were like, you aren't supposed to go up to the scene, and he was like, I don't know,
And that's one of those situations, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, the frontal lobe, when you get there, that is your literal first fucking literally your first thought, your first range of motion, your impulsive movements, like your go. And if your brain says halt, you're halting. And so it's like, you may be ready, but you're not. And like, that's what a lot of people fail to realize in this like situation. I didn't mean to pop off so early, but it pisses me off because people are forgetting that Lindsay has a life sentence without her whole family. Imagine going through a shitty breakup, and this is just a light, vague comparison. Going through a shitty breakup that you were with a person for 5 years and they're ripped out from underneath you. That shit hurts. You have to relearn how to rewire your brain and re-life. Now imagine...
Hold on, hey. Who's outside? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
It's me.
Oh, no, it's not. It's called.
Oh. But it's just... it's just one of those situations where it's like people do different things and grieve different ways. And so again, for me to come in as, you know, a personal situation, which is what we're talking about not doing here, but I don't understand because people can't accept that Lindsay understands what has happened, let alone the gravity and veracity of it, and people are still trying to say, give her the DP, do all this, you know, like I read some of these comment sections yesterday during the trial and it made me sick. Like it's just wrong. There are so many people out there that just they want the bad to happen and it sucks because this is a great scenario where people could use that gift of discernment to dissect the situation for what it is and learn from it rather than just be a confident dickbag, in my opinion. And that appears to be the big thing here. And that is just what chaps my ass.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's one
Pam.
thing me and Calder are always saying. Good morning,
Yeah.
B.
Oh,
Good morning,
sorry, Calder.
ladies. Panel. Cat.
Hey.
You know who needs the D penalty? Craig
Mm-hmm.
Michael Kurzman.
Yeah, damn
Oh
right.
yeah.
Dude, if he ever. Oh, God, don't even get me fucking started, B.
So
I
I
already
just I
crashed
just
out
wanted to come
once.
up. I wanted to come up to remind everybody to hug your kids, hug your children, talk to them, tell them that you love them, and most importantly, show them that you love them. Let them, as Whitney Houston said, God rest her soul, show them the beauty they possess inside because these children are our future. What do we want our future to look like?
Absolutely.
Well, that's with me having my son. It made me sad because my son is very similar to Leo. He's a nonverbal, same age. He does have his, overstimulation because he's frustrated. He gets frustrated. He can't tell me what he needs. So the yelling and hitting him and it really that it really triggered me because just because they have autism don't mean they're stupid. And he was treating him like
Agreed.
he was nothing.
Like he was
He was
less
treating
than.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yep.
And
And
remember,
Sammy, didn't you say like your son never flinches? Like
No.
that little boy
No.
flinched all the time.
None of my
aut-
kids flinch because
autism,
we don't hit.
autism, it isn't a disability; it's a different ability. And what people fail to realize, some of the most brilliant minds in our lifetime, in our world, is autistic.
This is
Right.
actually.
Like him in the poo thing. Okay, that happens. It happens. And a lot of times when my son does that, I blame myself like I should have checked his diaper, you know? And there are times where he just takes his diaper off. And so it's like, okay, if that's a thing, put a zip up on him. Put a zip up on so, you don't hit him.
You
That's
don't
just
you don't embarrass them. You don't put them you don't put them in front of a
no.
camera for the world to see. And this app is the world because all over the country, all over our world can get in and see things on this app. So I consider this app the world because anybody across the world can see anything at any given time on this app. And you don't shame him. You don't
No.
embarrass him. You don't put him down. And if you don't know how to communicate, even if it's your own child, find a different way. What doesn't work, leave it alone, find something else.
That's actually what I was just going to ask. Sam, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off and get personal here real quick, but do you have a PEC communication system?
We don't currently. We do have him in speech therapy, so we
Mm-hmm.
try to do some sign language.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Have you?
pretty good at grabbing what he wants or opening the fridge or
Okay.
grabbing his cup for like juice.
Okay. Are
Um,
we fluent in colors, shapes, and objects at all?
no,
By
he's
chance?
working on that.
Okay.
My son, he has what we're really focusing on is him knowing his name
Okay.
and because he can be right in front of your face. And if he's not if he's focused on something, you can go, hey, you can put your hands in front of his eyes, and he won't. He has no situational. Like if we're somewhere and he wants something, and they're strangers, and he likes their shoelace, he don't care. He'll go and grab their shoelace. Like he has no.
There you go.
Hyperfixation.
Take what you want, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called hyperfixation. I don't know if I'm not gonna say too much, but this is what I do for work. Sam, send me your email and I'll send you some stuff.
Okay.
If you like. If you'd like.
Yeah.
I won't I'll
Yeah,
send you
we're
some
on a wait list right now for ABA too. He goes to occupational therapy, speech therapy,
yeah.
and then he's in a couple months going to be going to ABA therapy as preschool, basically.
Okay. I've got some
But
stuff
I
in a
would like
folder.
any resources.
Yeah, I've got some stuff in a folder
Sweet.
that I use for a couple of my primary children is what we call them, and I'll send you over. It's called a communication board. As long as you have access to a printer, it's simple. It's communication through pictures, kind of like basically how you were saying he'll bring you stuff. It's basically the same way, but it's it's a segue into getting there without just immediately taking. It's really simple and it works great. It's all physical, hand over hand. I'll send it to you. Sorry, this is what I do for work, and so when I saw Killer B presenting yesterday, what he was presenting, I crashed the fuck out, and I had to really look into it for a minute and make sure that it was real because like Sam was saying, the fecal matter thing, it's not too far off from common in this community, but how the father handled it isn't either, which sucks. But it also tells me that, do we know if he's the biological father? Is he?
As far as we know, I mean,
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's
Hey,
interesting.
Killer
Well,
Bees, did you get a chance to check out Reddit? I was saying that last night on your live.
no, not yet. So I since all this is broke, I have not slept at all. I can't sleep. I lay down, I close my eyes, and I'm up. I just cannot sleep. It's
Oh, wow.
broke my heart.
Hold on,
So
you guys got
sorry.
to catch me up because I was not live. Well, I went live, but I didn't catch your live.
Yeah, these people don't understand. Our children can teach us just as much as we can teach them, especially the autistic children. Let them show you how to communicate with them. If you watch them, and even if they're not, if they're your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, let them show you how to communicate with them. They will show you.
Is that
literally,
what
they
your
will.
live was about?
I'm sorry.
Is that what your live was about?
It was about this trash bag and his
Leo?
wife. I don't call her names because well I just don't call women names unless they come at me sideways and then I may come out of character. However, I
Are you
digress.
talking about Leo?
No, Oh, yeah. Well, I'm referring to his wife because she's a trash bag too. Let's not get that twisted. She didn't report it. I don't. You cannot convince me that that man had her under his spell so bad that she should have not called 911 the day she walked in and seen that 6 month infant in that jumper unresponsive.
Did you guys see the big thing going on now too with the there's a
5 family members.
there's a creator here on there's a creator here on TikTok, and this lady started dating him. He shows cars and that. I can't remember what his name is. I have to go back and look. Red Beard something. And she had been leaving her 2-month-old daughter for 30 minutes at a time, so they'd only dated for a few months until the sister could pick the baby up. And he came in and had fell asleep, and something told her to look at his phone even though she never had, and somehow she picked it up not even knowing the password and hit 000, and it opened his phone, and the first video that she saw was him.
I didn't catch what you said. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I proceed? Yes, please. Your Honor, before the court today, we have the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckingham. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Council. Good morning, Miss Clancy. All right.
Can you
I
mute for
guess
just
we
a
always seem
minute?
to start every morning. If I could see everybody over at the sidebar, please.
Oh, it's sidebar.
Sidebar already. Stacy, if I remember correctly, this case that Killer B is talking about, they had another infant that they found in a tote in
Right.
cement.
Right.
Yes, yes.
The 6 month. He or she was 6 months old.
It was a he. There was twins. It was one of three, and the other two, his sisters, are adopted out, and he was the one that I hope to God it was natural causes.
Yeah.
But he was the one, and I've got to be a realist, and I've got to be real in my mind. I don't think it was natural, but my mind can't wrap around that a man would unalive his own child. But
Right.
knowing what I know about this sick, evil individual,
Mm-hmm.
my thought process and my opinion only, and I'm basing on everything that I know about him, what I see, what I hear come out of his mouth, that baby was probably crying. He got aggravated. We've seen him on live. We've seen his videos, so we know he gets mad. We know he screams and hollers and loses his cool. He got mad or he got carried. He got aggravated. Couldn't get the baby to be quiet or cooperate, and he did the deed.
Well,
That's
they'll
just
find
my opinion.
out.
I could
Has it
see
been
that.
confirmed that there were remains in the tote?
Yes, they have confirmed
Oh
this.
yeah.
So they did an X-ray and everything on it, and the void is consistent with what their story is. And mind you, the only reason they know this is because he picked up her phone wanting to look into air tags while he was on live. And when he got her phone, he seen text messages of her reaching out and telling, I guess, a friend of hers about him abusing her, the DV going on, and that he ended his live. And within 3 hours, he ended his live at 4, a little bit before 4. By 5:03, the 911 call was made, and by 7, he was booked and charged. And we didn't know she was charged at the time. Now, mind you, they didn't get him at home. They left the home, the trailer. They left and found him at a hotel, at a motel room, is where they arrested them at. He told her, if I'm not going down alone. You're going with me. And he's the one that told law enforcement that there's a baby in oh my God, in concrete, in a tote, in a closet in their house.
And a side note, he's also been not nice to animals.
No, he bit like ears off his
Yeah,
dog and
right.
then
Oh my
Oh
did
my!
god.
Oh my
molested
god!
it.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And what pisses me off and it breaks my heart is people called everyone names. People called these people that were bringing awareness about him, and they were doing it for the right reason in the right way. We're calling them trolls. Everybody's wrong. How in the hell can a million people be wrong and one person be right? And you support that. And now that all this is out, not one of them, and I'm getting names. I've got names. I've got a list of every single one. I'm getting mods names, and I am blasting them. They are going to be in the limelight because not one of them has spoke out and said, damn, I missed the mark on this one. My bad. I apologize. Something. Not one. How sick and twisted is that we have human beings that literally support other human beings like this?
That's crazy.
That
Yeah,
court
I think I'm gonna
is
make some
packed.
videos about it today, Killer Bees. Especially being a mother of a child on the spectrum, and how he acts to kids on the spectrum can tell when you're upset, and it makes him nervous, and that's probably a lot of the times why he was,
That boy was
having
always
those
jumpy. He was
reactions.
always flinching. He was scared of him.
Yep.
But to that boy, it was normal.
We don't even yell at our house unless it's football season. Because my son, and I don't like yelling, but we don't. We,
Good morning, Your Honor. May I
we don't
proceed?
do
Before the
that.
court today, we have the continuation of the jury trial in the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckingham.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. It's nice to see everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you the questions again, make sure everybody's able to follow those instructions, then go a little bit in regards to what our schedule is today, and then we'll talk maybe about kind of where we go after today. All right, so first off, let me get to those questions. Has any member of the jury read, seen, heard, or overheard anything from any source about any aspect of this case which would affect your ability to be a fair and impartial juror?
Yes.
All right. Next question, is there any other serious matter of concern bearing on your service as a juror in this case
Yes, Paul,
that anybody needs to bring to my attention? Again, thank you so much for following those instructions.
I have a question
now,
about this
what
trial,
we're going
if
to
I
do
may
today
ask.
is we're going to return to the witness who's on the
What was
stand.
that?
Is this? I have a
Commonwealth will still
question. Is
conducting
this
direct examination.
jury?
After that,
Is
the
it
defense
sequestered where
will
they
give
can't
the
leave? They have to.
opportunity
They're
their
put up and everything
cross-examination.
until it's over with.
And I believe
Unfortunately,
after
no.
that, the Commonwealth has
You can't
one
tell me
last
that this juror has not seen and heard
So that's the
things
anticipated
about this trial.
lineup that we have today.
I'd be looking.
And going beyond that, I'm not going to speculate too much because I've been wrong just about every time I gave you an estimate of the symbol of the schedule. But just so you understand, it's anticipated that these would be the last two witnesses. All right, and then I'll talk to the lawyers. We'll kind of see where we go from there, and then I will today. Before you leave, I'll explain exactly what the next step is going to be. Okay? And so with that, we'll return. If we have the witness back on the stand and the Commonwealth.
Good morning. Do solemnly swear that the testimony you give before the hearing and the not pending between the Commonwealth and the defense shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. You may be seated.
Step, please. Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, Your Honor. Hi, Teresa.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you need a moment?
I do.
Welcome in, everybody. If you guys will, just share the live out. She'll be on YT when I am here, Cole.
So, Doctor, could you tell us what is peritraumatic? Sorry, let me start over. Can you tell us what peritraumatic disassociation is and whether it factored into your evaluation in this case?
Yes, that's the kind of thing that you experience when you're going through a very frightening or traumatic set of situation or circumstances or whatever. And it's the sort of thing that you can experience in the sense that you kind of feel that things are unreal or that it's not you. It's like you're watching yourself go through actions and so on. And it's the sort of thing that if you talk about it, it sounds like it could be psychotic, but it's actually more likely to be a recognized aspect of going through a traumatic situation or set of circumstances that many people going through something like that would experience.
And when you say going through something like that, are you talking about when the defendant was strangling her children?
That would be one example because that was very traumatic for her.
And did the defendant show signs of peritraumatic disassociation in the records or in your conversation with her?
She did. She talked about feeling like it wasn't her, like she was watching herself, like she was going through what she called no thinking, no decision making, only responding to the voice and taking action.
And when she said that there was no decision making involved, did you see anything about in the records or in her detailing of what happened that was inconsistent with that claim that there was no decision making?
Yeah, this is difficult but important to say. That there are just many ongoing decisions that have to be made to accomplish a killing like this in 18 to 20 minutes. For example, why the basement? Who among the children goes first? What do you say to the kids to keep them from panicking? There are other examples, but
yeah, hold on.
And so what types of decisions, without getting to what she might have said or thought, what are some types of decisions that had to be made to effectuate the strangulation of the children?
Well, I tried to give some examples a minute ago, and I don't want to go too...
All right, hold on. Just answer the question, all right? Don't comment on the rulings of the court. Just answer the question, please. Okay?
If I could rephrase.
Yeah.
Doctor, the choice of where to strangle the children, does that have to be a choice of where that happens?
Yes.
The decision of how to strangle them, is that a decision that needs to be made?
Yes.
What to use to strangle the children, is that a decision that has to be made?
Sorry, I have to object. No, overruled. I'll allow that.
What to use to strangle the children, is that a decision that has to be made?
Yes, it is.
The order in which to strangle the children, is that a decision that has to be made?
That's another example of the decision, yes. Decisions.
And the way in which to kill herself, were those decisions that had to be made?
Yes, they were.
Now, you said that this peritraumatic disassociation seems like it would be a sign of psychosis, but isn't. Why isn't it?
It's actually something that is much more commonly experienced in that kind of set of circumstances than psychotic symptoms.
And yesterday when you went through the two options that you considered, that this was psychosis with command hallucinations or suicide with altruistic filicide, is your testimony that it's either or it's one or the other?
It's my testimony that those were the two possibilities that seemed to have some evidence, but at the end of talking to her, testing, reviewing all the information, doing the collateral interviews, everything I did as a part of this evaluation, the evidence much more strongly, in my opinion, supported the second explanation, which was the serious suicide attempt accompanied by
Good morning, baby.
by killing the children out of love.
Now, you interviewed the defendant on 2 days, the first day and the third day, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And were there any differences in her demeanor or her way of answering questions between the first day and the third day?
Yes, I interviewed her and worked with her on testing for 3 days. And during the first and the second day, she was quite attuned to the question. Her recollection was good, even considering that we were more than 3 years away from some of the events in question. She had, I thought, a very good memory for dates and medications and dosages and times and other relevant details. And she continued to be attentive and responsive, good attention concentration, that sort of thing on the second day. On the third day, when we were talking about mental state at the time of the offense and the circumstances of what was going on with the alleged offense, she appeared to me much more cautious and guarded.
And can you give us some examples of that?
She more frequently said, "I don't remember, I don't recall," that sort of thing, during the third day than the second. or the first. For one example, I asked her about wearing a smartwatch, which she had carried a phone, carried a smartwatch as well. And one of the things I asked her is what wrist she wore it on. This was on the third day, and she said, I don't remember.
And did you also ask her about her statement at Brigham and Women's when she woke up and said she was horrified?
I did. Now, that statement was not a statement so much as it was a written. She woke up in having regained consciousness that evening. She was intubated, so she couldn't speak. But they asked her questions, and she wrote down the answer, and they asked her, how are you feeling, or what's your mood? And what she said was, what she wrote was horrified.
And when you asked her about that on that third day of interviewing, what was her response?
She said, I don't remember writing that, and I don't remember why I would have been horrified.
And did you also ask her about the statement she made at Brigham and Women's, either verbally or on the writing it down, about how she said that one of the reasons she killed the children was because she thought they would suffer?
Where are you? Are you in my report there?
Referring to the records at Brigham and Women's where she told...
She can refer to where she's looking to direct his attention if you reviewed those.
You reviewed the Brigham and Women's records, correct?
I did, yes.
And the portion where it says that she told a treatment provider that she had to kill the kids to kill herself because the kids would suffer. Do you recall that statement?
Yes, I do recall that statement.
And when you asked her about it on the third day of interviewing her, did she recall that statement?
Yes, that statement in Brigham and Women's to the attending psychiatrist was made in the context of her thinking about what happened. Well, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, she was asked about what the voice had said on that afternoon, and her response was, it had said, you have to kill yourself so you can kill the kids. It also said, the kids will suffer without you. And when I asked her about that, whether the voice had said that, she said, no, the voice only said, this is your last chance. You have to kill the kids so you can kill yourself.
So we're going to move to strike this, not respond.
No, overruled. Allah.
So the two differences where at Brigham, she's saying, the voice said, you have to kill yourself so you can kill the children, and that the children would suffer without her, versus after that when she says the voice only said, you have to kill the kids so you can kill yourself. Is the fact that she's giving two different statements significant in your evaluation?
As I talked about in my testimony yesterday, when there is inconsistency, that's something that alerts me to the possibility of inaccuracy. And two statements that are mutually exclusive or inconsistent suggest to me that there is a problem. One of them, at least, is not accurate.
And Doctor, did you find any significance in your evaluation to the fact that she was able to complete a phone call with her husband during this time frame of killing the children and herself?
Yes, that was very unusual in my experience, to have a crucial time interrupted by something like a phone call, because one of the considerations there is that you then not only can document the time that it happened, and that helps be more precise about the time, but you also have whoever is on the other end of the phone. And this was her husband. When he called her at 5:33, she didn't pick up, but she called back immediately at 5:34. And when I talked to him during the collateral interview, one of the things he said is that she sounded, on the short call, distracted, and like she was in the middle of something, but it wasn't anything that struck him as that unusual. He said when she's home with 3 kids, she's always in the middle of something. So that was one of the reasons that it was important. And then another reason, as I mentioned a minute ago, is it helps to establish a time frame. We know when her husband left the house, which was 5:15. We know when he came home, which was around 6 o'clock. And this is not quite in the middle of it, but close to that. And so it was unusual and valuable and important in trying to establish those kinds of things.
And when reviewing the records and talking to the defendant, did you notice any statements or behaviors that seemed to focus in on herself? Such as, for example, being future oriented.
Well, one of the things I noticed from the records at Brigham and Women's is that several days after she came in, there were comments from staff and in the notes about how she was a little bit more future oriented and thinking about what it would be like in the future, her life and that sort of thing. So that's one of the considerations that was in response to kind of thinking about herself and being oriented toward herself.
And is there any significance to that state of mind or those thoughts in your evaluation of her?
Well, I don't think that she was in any way over this or thinking only about herself. It's something that I noticed when I evaluated her in April, is that she is still grieving. She's still in mourning for those kids. And she used language like, I have lost everything and I don't want to be here. So I would not think of Lindsay Clancy as someone who is really self-centered or oriented only to herself. She is grieving her children.
And you mentioned yesterday the emphasis she had on control of thought and control of her life. How did that come into play in your evaluation in terms of what was done here?
One of the considerations is why she got to the point where she decided to take her own life. And she's an individual who, for most of her life, has been disciplined and liked to control things, liked to work hard, liked to accomplish things. And one of the things that was striking about what happened with her between October and January is that she seemed to be doing her best, talking to the doctors, talking to the therapists, working on trying to get things accomplished in terms of lessening the anxiety and getting the right medications. And it wasn't working, and she couldn't help make it work. She could not control that through hard work and discipline and so on. And that had to be very frustrating, and I think got her to the point where it was very difficult for her to actually think about not being hopeless and going on with her life and so on.
Now, doctor, did you form an opinion to a reasonable degree of psychological certainty as to whether or not the defendant was suffering from a mental disease or defect at the time she killed her children?
I did, yes.
And what is that opinion?
That opinion is yes, she was. Yes.
And what is that opinion?
That opinion is yes, she was. Yes.
And what is that opinion?
What happened? Hold on, sorry. Oh my gosh.
I got you. I see you, corner. You get busy.
It kicked off. Oh my gosh. Hold on. It just went down for some reason. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Were you on Court TV? Can you try a different stream?
Oh, hold on. It's because it's what I did. Is what I did was I had found somebody that was actually streaming and
Here's how to sell your
didn't
books
have
on Vinted. It
commercials
only takes 3 steps to turn your clutter
while I
into
grabbed a
cash.
shower.
Step 1, keywords.
Hopefully, it just did it.
Regarding your opinion.
Okay, sorry about
Yes, you
that.
formed an opinion.
I did, yes.
And what is that opinion?
That opinion is that she retained an awareness of the illegality of killing others, including killing her children. Her moral awareness of the wrongfulness of this killing was influenced by her strong desire to die, and, if she were dead, not to leave her children behind. Some of this perception was realistic. For example, my children will suffer without me because they would have suffered, I think. And some of it was distorted. For example, nobody else can care for my children. But her awareness of the illegality and moral wrongfulness of such killing is best appraised by understanding these acts as a serious suicide attempt combined with altruistic filicide, killing her children out of love, rather than as a response to command hallucinations.
And did you form an opinion to a reasonable degree of psychological certainty as to whether Ms. Clancy was able to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law when she killed her children?
Yes.
And what is that opinion?
That her capacity to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law is again best understood by considering the seriousness of her suicide attempt and her strong desire not to leave her children. She demonstrated such self-control throughout the day on January 24th, and her actions between 5:15 and 6 p.m. that afternoon were influenced by her depression and her hopelessness about her life and the desire to end the pain she had experienced since October. Although this depression and hopelessness influenced her decisions, she retained control over whether, when, and how she carried it out, and the inclusion of her children.
And doctor, did you form an opinion to a reasonable degree of psychological certainty as to whether or not the defendant was criminally responsible when she killed her children?
Yes.
And what is that opinion?
My opinion, my clinical opinion, since I'm not the decision maker here, but my clinical opinion is that she was criminally responsible on January 24th.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd move to submit the PowerPoint for identification.
Sorry?
I'd move to submit the PowerPoint
for identification. Okay, thank you. That may be done.
It's easy for ID.
Attorney Reddington?
Thank you. Sorry. Doctor, I'd just like to ask you about one of the things you just said to this jury that apparently stood out in your mind, and that would be the dichotomy of the difference between two statements that Lindsay made, one being, I believe, in the hospital, and you felt that there was a subsequent statement that was made by her that contradicted that, or was different from that, and that would be after 3 days of you and Mac testing her. Is that right? Can you just say, is it right or wrong?
Mr. Reddington, it's not quite right.
Okay, why don't we do it this way? You just told the jury that Lindsay made a statement to you at the conclusion of the 3 days that you and Mac were questioning her and testing her and interviewing her. Is that fair? Yes or no?
What I would say is...
Yes or no?
No.
Did you tell this jury, in addition, that Lindsay made a different statement when she was in the hospital? Yes or no?
What I said to the jury
I'm
is...
asking you, sir, did you make that statement to this jury?
What I intended to say...
No, not what you intended. Can you answer my question? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Now, is Dr. Helgren aware of the concept of post-intensive care syndrome?
Post-intensive care syndrome.
Yeah, PICS. It's called PICS.
No, I have not heard of post-intensive care syndrome.
Dr. Helgren aware of when a person is coming out of major surgery and has been subject to anesthesia, that it is known that they have delusions, hallucinations, make statements that don't make sense. Are you aware of that, sir?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And is that from your personal experience, professional experience? Because you didn't know what PICS was when I asked you, right?
Yes, it's not from my personal experience or my professional experience.
You received a notification to evaluate Lindsay Clancy on this criminal case from the district attorney's office, right?
Yes.
And do you recall when you received that notification?
It would have been sometime before January of 2025, because that's when I started reviewing the documents that they provided.
Okay, so January of 25, January of 26, and then in the spring of 26, you go to the Tewksbury Hospital with Mac and you interview Lindsay, right?
Correct.
Now, I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. Thanks, Fetch.
Sorry, guys.
Time passed from that point going backwards to January of 23.
I'm not sure what the question is.
Okay, January of 23, you had a year, that's January of 24, right?
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
January 24, you add a year up to January 25, that's 2 years, right?
Yes.
January 25 up to when you and Mac finally go out to Tewksbury to interview this young lady is how many months?
Well, it would be about 3 years.
Okay. And are you telling this jury that it's good, using the term loosely, medical practice to interview a young lady like this 3 years after the event for purposes of helping the DA, in your opinion?
Do you mean in the context of a forensic mental health assessment, sir?
That's the only reason you're here, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So can you answer my question?
The answer to your question is the sooner that I'm able to evaluate somebody after their involvement in the alleged offense, the more closely I can come to using that current state information as something that is relevant to their mental state at the time of the offense.
Okay. So in other words, yes, it is better to see them sooner rather than later, to coin a phrase, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And have in mind January of 25 that you were retained, but and again, you know, normally this isn't an issue. Who cares? But how much money did you make on this case? As they want to ask my doctor, how much money did you make on this case?
That depends when I'm finished. But I mentioned earlier that I had spent 180 hours before coming to Plymouth.
How much money did you make on the case, Doctor? Simple.
Well, it's not that simple, but I'm being paid at $300 an hour.
Okay, so how much money did you make on the case?
Well, $300 an hour times 180.
What's your last billing?
I've been billing monthly, sir.
Okay, you must know what the total billing is up to this point, don't you?
I I actually have not added it
How
up.
about you just give us your best estimate, Doctor?
Well, let's see. Probably up to this point, it's been about $54,000.
$54,000. And it will be more, right? When we get finished with you today, right? It'll be more.
Yes.
Okay. So, you received from me, by certified mail, video interview of Lindsay by my guy, Dr. Resnick, right?
Correct.
You received the notes from Dr. Margaret Spinelli, right?
Yes.
Hold on, guys. I got to pause this 1 second.
$300 an hour isn't an outrageous amount, but 180 hours is questionable. He couldn't have interviewed her more than 8 hours a day. He was there 3 days. We know he didn't interview her more than 8 hours a day, but let's just say 8 hours a day. That's 24 hours. Then it took him 160 hours to prepare this report.
Yeah, and it was how long? How many years later? And they paid him that much too. They didn't get somebody else on there earlier. The DA sooner.
I didn't hear what you said, Sam.
I said, with that amount, hold on. With that amount, you would think that he would have got. It would have been sooner. The DA should have had an evaluation sooner than 3 years after the fact to determine what she felt on that night.
Well, he didn't even interview her until 3 years after the.
Tess said, "I can do what this guy does and only charge $200 an hour." I agree. Shoot, I'll cut it down to $180 an hour. How about that?
Okay, without giving any personal information, I'm going to tell you that $300 an hour is not an astronomical figure for a psychologist.
Well, for him it is. I know.
Okay,
I know.
I can agree with that.
My son, his speech therapy a week is. This is just for 1 day. Is $611 a week.
Oh right. My God. See you once every quarter. Jesus.
Thankfully, I have insurance, so. Or I would be going to school for, speech, being a speech therapist, basically.
Golly, I knew it was expensive, but I didn't know it was that much. God damn.
Yeah, and it's not so much the speech; it's the office billing it as well.
Yeah, it's the overhead, the resources that the office have. It's not just the wages of the therapist.
Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh yeah, dude. Some of the kids that I work with at work, even adults, depending on their level of disability, like I hate to say it like this, we get X amount of supported money for them a month to support them within their means. And like, there are kids that are worth over $3,000 that we just have coming into our day program because they require, X, Y, and Z and modifications to certain things. And like, it's kind of shitty because a lot of these kids, they get evaluated, but...
Okay, I'm back, guys. I'm so sorry about that.
What'd you do?
Well, Ivory was trying to get me into a StreamYard, and so I had to put in a code, and I couldn't do it while the case was playing, so I had to go out.
Margaret Spinelli, right?
Yes.
You received the notes from my doctor, Paul Zeisel, right?
Yes.
You received the report that was prepared and submitted by Dr. Philip Resnick, right?
Yes.
You received the report prepared and submitted by Dr. Margaret Spinelli, right?
Yes.
And you received the report prepared by Dr. Zeisel, right?
Yes.
And then I said, if you have any questions, give me a call, drop me a line, whatever, but we never talked until today, right?
That's correct.
All right. Now, you have a curriculum vitae, that talks about that you are a clinical psychologist, correct, as you've told us yesterday, right?
Yes.
Have you ever treated a woman in postpartum psychosis?
When I was a staff psychologist at the forensic service at Florida State Hospital.
When was that, please?
That was back in 1982.
82?
Yes. I had a therapy group which was comprised of women who had killed their children. They were severely mentally ill, and at that time, it was important to recognize the severity of their mental illness, and so I worked with them in a group at that time.
Okay. And this is 44 years ago?
Yes.
All right. And where was it?
It was at the Florida State Hospital in Chattahoochee, forensic unit.
How many of these people did you have a chance to interview in group or whatever you did?
There were 4 or 5 in the group.
4 or 5, okay. Well, you are also a forensic psychology expert working for Park Dietz and Associates, right?
I have an affiliation with Park Dietz and Associates, yes.
Yes, but that's basically, that's the letterhead that you have on all your stuff, right? Park Dietz and Associates, Inc. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. You know Mac, do you?
Do I know
Yeah.
Dr. Mack?
Yeah, Dr. Mack, yeah. The guy that was here testifying for the last 2 days, Friday and Monday. You know
Yes,
him?
I do know him,
Right.
yes.
And he works with Park Dietz as well, right?
Oh, what a good song.
Occasionally do cases in affiliation with Park Dietz and Associates.
Right.
About that.
And continuing on, and if you have it, you can certainly take a look at it. Make sure I don't misrepresent anything on your V-Day, as you refer to it. You also were involved with Giant Food Corporation. You do fitness for duty assessments. What is that?
What are fitness for duty assessments?
Yeah, Giant Food Corp. What's Giant Food Corporation?
Oh, that's something that I did many years ago. Basically, a company or an organization might refer someone who is having difficulty at work, having symptoms, making threats, that sort of thing, and they would ask for an evaluation from a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and I did that for a while for Giant Food Corporations.
And you also did it for U.S. Airways, apparently, evaluations and consultation, right?
Yes.
You also did it for the Texas Education Commission. You put in your resume the forensic clinical site visitor, Sam Houston State Hospital or University, right?
Yes.
You were a grant reviewer for the Office of Victims of Crime for the United States Department of Justice. That's the feds. That's the U.S. Attorney's Office, right?
Yes.
Okay. You also worked, and you did violence risk assessment consultant as a consultant to the New Jersey Department of Mental Health Services, right?
Yes.
You also consulted as a research consultant with the community education centers in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Research Advisory Board, the Center for the Analysis of, actually the FBI. You work for the FBI?
I consulted with the FBI, yes.
And in consulting with the FBI, you also consult with the Bureau of Prisons, right? BOP?
Yes.
When you're consulting for, well, okay, look, site visitor, juvenile justice and psychology, you were involved with that, right?
Yes.
Consultant forensic psychology service for the Walter Reed Medical Center, correct?
Yes.
When you work on the consulting with the Bureau of Prisons, basically what you're doing is you're evaluating, as you told us a couple of times, people that are wrongfully convicted and they're in jail for decades. And you would evaluate them for the Bureau of Prisons to see if they're okay to release to society, right?
That does not sound like a typical question that I would evaluate for the Bureau of Prisons.
All right. Well, what would you evaluate for the Bureau of Prisons?
Well, for example...
Wait, hold on. Just so we know, Bureau of Prisons is federal as opposed to the Department of Correction, which is state, right?
Yes, that's right.
So go ahead. Tell me what you do for the Bureau of Prisons.
Well, one of the things that I might do is conduct a meeting or a workshop on a topic such as violence risk assessment or something like that. So I have done that, deliver a workshop or provide an organizational meeting, provide information, and so on a number of occasions.
And do you evaluate people to see if they're able to be reintegrated into society?
I do that as well, yes.
Okay. You also are involved with sexual violence risk, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
You also are involved with specialized police response and collaboration with behavioral health systems in Pennsylvania, right?
Correct.
Sexual violence risk, again, for purposes of the Department of Correction. You focused on that, right?
Yes.
Principles of forensic assessments, that you would be assessing juveniles for purposes of juvenile assessment and risk assessment, right?
Yes.
You also are involved with violence risk and sexual violence risk, correct?
Yes, correct.
Juvenile assessments, risk assessments, and principles of forensic assessment for the American Academy of Forensic Psychology, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And also a focus on juvenile assessment and risk assessment of juveniles, right?
Yes, correct.
Violence towards others, psychiatrically hospitalized populations, that would be what? Patient-on-patient assaults or something like that when somebody's at a mental institution?
Patients against patients, against staff, that sort of thing.
They can be pretty violent places, can't they?
They can be sometimes, yes.
Sexual violence risk, you involved with New Orleans, Louisiana, sexual violence risk assessment, right?
Correct.
Using mental health experts, obtaining and using mental health experts in criminal litigation for the Administrative Office of the United States Courts, right?
Yes.
What does that mean? What did you do with that when you were dealing with obtaining and using mental health experts in criminal litigation?
Well, I have had the occasion to provide workshops to prosecutors, to defense attorneys, to judges, and so on. And depending on some of the questions that arise, such as what's the most effective way to obtain and present a forensic psychologist or forensic psychiatrist expert, I might do a half day or a full day workshop on that.
Okay, so my question, sir, I know you get in there, but where did you lecture or give a lecture to criminal defense attorneys?
I've given a number of those lectures over the years.
3 words. Teen driver reports.
Carritos, little overdressed with a glass bottle, no?
Hey, I'm just here to be with...
Ivory, are you ready to go to YT?
I am. What did I miss this morning?
Oh, you got it. I can't even explain it. You got to watch.
All right.
Yeah, there's a moment of silence. I think it was his first question.
Awkward moments of silence.
Yeah.
So if everybody will follow Sam's in her bio, she has her YT. Follow Ivory Rose Knows on YT, and we are going to switch over there because I have to get to work. So it's like perfect timing, and she'll recap all of it. So if you've missed anything, she will start it from the beginning. And follow me on YT too.
All right, y'all ready? Because I've been waiting for this. I think I dreamed about it a little last night. I'm not going to lie.
I'm ready. Oh, I'm going to message you, Ivory. And
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Sounds good,
Send me that thing in a message.
Who?
You.
Okay.
Yeah, what we were doing this morning, the little paperwork, send it to me.
Okay.
All right. See you all over there. Everybody, put a 1 in the chat if you're going to YT. All right. We'll see you over there, guys. Have a good day, and hopefully I'll get off work a little early. Thank you all for joining. Oh, congratulations, Martha. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, see you guys over there. Have a good day.